What's up? Yours truly, once again, Michael Ferrera, back in another edition of Style Your Life. And in this segment, we're actually going to be talking and focusing primarily on entrepreneurs and business owners and those that really want to live the game of life at an extremely high level. However, I'm going to show you how to overcome the habits and the statistics and the data of being a workaholic, and how to get out of your head from being a workaholic and truly enjoy the journey and the life of being an elite business owner and entrepreneur. Let's get into that content right now. So without further ado, thank you for being here. If you're watching this and you think you are a workaholic, or you're always working and you're always busy, this video is for you. I have been there, and I've gotten to the point where I really can get a hold on and a grasp of my time, a grasp of the value that I know that I bring to my clients, and a grasp of my personal, family, and other relationships in my life that are so important. And you may be been talked about, been dismissed, or diminished because you're a workaholic. This will be valuable. Hopefully it's valuable, and more importantly, I truly hope that you can really experience the joy of living life at a high level and an elite level, and without compromising any other aspect, because you can do it, and there's very strategic ways to do so. If this is your first time here and it's your first time watching me, thank you for joining me. I don't think it's an accident why you're here. So if you're here, stay here. Please like, please comment, please enjoy and engage in the community wherever you are, so that we can make this content more valuable to the people that you serve. In Style Your Life, we don't often give content that you have to buy 10 items or spend a lot of money. We give you inside information that you can use right now inside of your life to style and enhance the life that you're living. So jumping into this content, workaholic. Well, the reason I can bring value here is because throughout my life, I probably have been characterized, or probably even told myself that once or twice, but mainly from other people. I've been called and been told that I'm a workaholic, or I work too much, or I'm too busy, or when do you have time for leisure, or when do you have time for play? Well, it's a very fine line, and I think that workaholic or workaholism, right, it should have its own definition and its own term to you. At this point, I still work a lot. I still commit at a high level. I still serve my clients at a very high capacity, and it takes a lot of my time. However, I would not categorize myself as a workaholic. I'm very intentional about the time that I spend in work. I'm very intentional about the time that I dedicate to serving you all and my Style Your Life content and my videos and my information and content that I share out. So although it may look like I'm very busy and managing multiple businesses, I have a very clear picture on what my life should be. And I think when you may be categorizing yourself as a workaholic, or other people may shame you or diminish you for that, just have your intention and definition of what workaholism is and what doing too much is. Because I feel, right, when I was younger in business, the reason I can relate to this and why I can provide value here is that, quite frankly, I didn't have a grasp of what my time was. I knew that I had big goals and big visions to retire very young in my life and to do some great things. And I knew the work that it took behind that, and I knew the time that it took behind that. However, I wouldn't say I had a control over it all the time. I would say I was always in a position where I felt like I always had to be working. I felt like I had to be growing. I felt like I had to be improving. I felt like I had to be going and doing something to always be busy. And frankly, you don't have to. You really don't. When you have a clear picture of where you want to go and have a strategy to get there, it makes the journey a little bit more enjoyable. And I can say I probably knew the destination that I want to get to, but didn't really have a clear roadmap on how to get there. And even if I didn't have a clear roadmap, I probably didn't even have a good roadmap to get there. But throughout the journey of life, you learn things, and why I want to share this Style Your Life content with you to help you navigate throughout that space. So one thing I will say, if you think you are a workaholic, or other people are characterizing you as that, your family is saying you're missing out on experiences, the one thing that you should take away from that is that that's okay for a time and a season, right? However, it should not be forever. I can, say now without any shame or without any guilt that yes, I probably missed a lot of my friends' glorious and momentous occasions, right? Childbirths, family growth, birthday parties, celebrations, anniversary dinners, probably even some weddings or some momentous occasions from people that are in my life, simply because I was, working on some of the things that I was doing to propel my life to where it is now. So the important thing to remember, if you consider yourself a workaholic or you're being categorized as such, just know it's okay for a season, but not forever. Because if it's done forever, you're not truly maximizing the potential that you have and enjoying life to its fullest. I believe that life should be enjoyed, not just worked in order to pay bills and do things and suffice the lifestyle that you've portrayed and kept up. Life should be enjoyed in all its fullest, whether you work a lot or whether you don't. So keep that in mind. It's okay to have and be a workaholic or work a lot or be overworked for a time, but make that time short and for a period. Right? As we progress on, one way to get out of your workaholism, or if you feel like you're always doing something, one thing that I did, and I know it will work for you. Right? I always felt that I needed to be doing something to improve it. And if I was not working on my business, I need to be working like in my business, calling clients, emailing people, soliciting business, contacting new clients, getting new money coming in, whatever it was. And if I wasn't doing that, I felt like, okay, I need to be personal development. I need to be fitness training. I need to be growing my mind. I need to be stronger, better, faster, right? So I was always felt like I was in a rush or in a need to want to do or want to be better or be active. And frankly, that's not a great way to live life. And if you find yourself in that space, this trick that I've learned, that I've applied to my life, I'm certain it will work for you, because it will actually complement your desire to be good, be great, and be the best. And the biggest trick that I've found that'll allow you to get out of your workaholism or your high intensive work habits is you have to take on other projects. Sounds strange, but hear me on this part. You have to take other projects on that are completely leisure, right? And that is where you get to maximize your dedication to living life at a high level while still enjoying the life. Let me give you an example. In my case, I actually am a professional scuba diver. Many people don't know that, but I dive professionally, and I scuba dive probably for the last 11 years of my life. Now, the reason I took on scuba diving is that, one, I did it once. I was in Hawaii the first time I went scuba diving, and it was just such a peaceful environment. It's quiet, right? You hear animals and noises, of course, but it's extremely quiet. You can't talk to anyone. You can communicate, but you can't physically talk. And so I was at a great level of peace. It took me away from work. It took me away from any arguments or disagreements or company engagements or any other type of life thing. When you're submerged under the water, you can't talk. You cannot, listen to other people's words. You can't work on a computer. And I'm scuba diving. I have to be completely present there. So that's one of the reasons why I took on scuba diving. And when I was there, my instructor, because I wasn't certified at that time, he said, Michael, what's happening? Why is your tank so full? Are you holding your breath underwater? What's happening here? Your tank should be lower than this. And the air tank is what I'm referring to, because if you're underwater for a certain amount of time, your air naturally goes down if you're breathing. And I was breathing normally. I was breathing naturally. I wasn't holding my breath. And what it come to find out after I went down on my second and my third dive, I'm just very calm underwater. And I was a very state of peace and chill. So therefore I wasn't, exerting a lot of air or using more air than I needed to. And I was actually at a state of peace. So, I use that as an example, as that's one of the hobbies or tasks that I took on that is completely leisure. But now it keeps me in an aspect of, I want to be a great diver, right? I want to be a great underwater explorer. I want to be, a true dedicated marine biologist to understand what life is under the water. So, the reason why that's a great trick is because you, as that workaholic or whatever you want to call it, or a person that's very productive, very busy, you have to take on more projects. But the projects you take on have to be completely leisure, right? Some of those projects could be, fitness training. Some of those projects, that's a fine line on that one. Maybe it's a sport. Maybe it's a instrument that you took on when you were a kid. Maybe it's simply just engaging with other friends for a certain period of time. Maybe it's mountain climbing. Maybe it's rock climbing. Maybe it's something that's going to challenge you and put you in a leisure space. Maybe it's photography or video art or something, or painting. Something that is completely leisure that can take you out of the element of being in a workspace and being work. Because again, because you have that desire to continue to be the best, to continue to be great at everything you do, it'll carry over in your desire to be good, but it's completely in something leisure, and it'll take you out of the space of being workaholic. So try that. I'm sure it will work, right? And as you do that, and you tap out on one thing, you maybe have, okay, I did this and I started to play an instrument or a piano or something. Now you move on to something else, and you add different things of leisure. Right? Maybe it's archery. Maybe it's, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out at this point. But think of things that you can do outside, right? Learning about animals outside of your work environment that can allow you to still be your best, but take your mind completely in a leisure space, right? I encourage like hobbies. Maybe it's taking on a collector's item or studying something of the sort, right? That's something that could take you out of the element of your workaholism or trying to be too productive or too busy, right? So try that chip. I'm sure it will work. Take on other projects, but only for leisure, and it'll help you get out of that mindset of that you always have to be working, always have to be improving, always have to be doing something, because you don't. And then that's a nice segue into this third trick and tip that can help you with your workaholism, so you don't feel like you're always busy, always doing, always going, right? And this is vital. This is one of the biggest things that I had to come to grips with, and that, quite frankly, I had to take on a friend, a coach, another entrepreneur to support me in this aspect. And I learned it from him in the aspect that you have to just set time limits, right? You've heard this before. I get it. I hear somebody saying, okay, set time, stop. I get that, right? But hear me out here. Hear me out. The time limits that I'm talking about is like, let's say, for example, you're working on a big project, a major project, starting a company, getting into a different business, shifting business, whatever you're doing. And now you're dedicated in your focused time. Maybe that may take 10, 15, 20 hours a day. 20 is a lot. It's a bad example. Maybe that's taking 10 to 15 hours a day. That's more realistic. If you're doing something for 20 hours, there's a bigger problem. That's not workaholism. That's something that I don't have a term for. You need to get help and you need to seek, right? Because if you've seen some of my other videos as it relates to the power and the importance of sleep, you can search those and click those under this video. But sleep is vitally important to your massive amounts of success. There's only a certain amount of success you can achieve if you don't have enough sleep. So sleep is vital to your success as an entrepreneur. So keep that in mind. But bringing us back here, right? If you are, doing a project that's taking you, right, 8, 10, 15, 12, 13 hours, 15 hours of your time, you gotta find ways to simply dedicate times where I would say two things. One, make sure you're moving throughout that time. Some people have the ability to just work like 6 hours straight, no eating, no drinking, no moving. That is, wow. I don't know if that's a talent or a problem, but more power to you either way. I'm not that person. I need to always be moving up, standing. Most of the videos that I even do are even standing up like this one, because I got to keep my energy flowing. So I would encourage you two things. The first thing is, like, throughout your work days, make sure you're taking minor and micro breaks, right? A coffee, a soda, literally a 3-minute phone call to just, what's up, dog? What's up? This person checking in, saying what's up, talk to a friend, text message a friend, walk around, get the body and the blood flow moving. Now, the second and the more important tip when you're here is that you want to make sure that you just have simply hard cutoffs, right? If you're a person that is working on a business project, and I take this from an entrepreneur realm because that's probably the workaholics that we may categorize ourselves are, other people may categorize you are. If you're that person that you're working on something, and then once you finish that, you have to go to another project, and then once you finish that, you got to go to reading a book, and then once you finish that, you got to go to a webinar, a seminar to be better and a better person and all that. That's a lot to take in, and I've been there. So what I would encourage you to do is, when you have those things, make sure you segment them and dedicate times to them, right? Whether it's a 20-minute, 2-hour time block on this, or 90 minutes or 80 minutes, whatever the time out, and literally you have to just stop. It's hard to say. It really is. It really is hard to say, and it's harder to do. Right? I'm guilty of it, and I've been there, but I truly have a grasp on this now. So I encourage you, like, you have to be in a situation where you actually just stop. When you're switching from project 1 to project 2, take a break, a 15-minute. My first coach that I hired years and years ago, Nate Brooks taught me this, that changed my life forever. You literally have to take at minimum 15-minute breaks throughout the day. When you're taking a lunch break, when you're taking a break, truly take a break. I've did other content on this as well, right? When you're taking a lunch, do nothing. Don't scroll. Don't maybe listen to some music, light music, something that puts you at peace and calm. But no video, no watching TV, no scrolling at lunch. Just truly take a lunch. When you're a person that's working at a high level, you have to take breaks. And when I hired Nate Brooks years ago, that just changed my life. And I still to this day, I take a true lunch. When I take lunch, phone's off, right? There's no text messaging, it's just off. And I truly enjoy that lunch break so I can get a time to refresh, recharge. So when you, right, take those times to truly recharge, whether it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. When you're shifting to a new project, take another break, right? I often even challenge you taking a 30, 45-minute break or an hour if you can to truly dive in and make your mind shift. Right? And then when you're shifting to reading a book, like, okay, I got to read this book. Somebody told me I need to read Think and Grow Rich. Somebody told me I need to read The Richest Man. Somebody told me I need to Compound Effect. Right? Whatever. Like, that's also still kind of work because your mind is working and thinking of new ideas, new creative ideas. Right? So you want to make sure that you give your mind and your body time to refresh and recharge. And that's vital to your success as an entrepreneur and as a quote unquote workaholic. So make sure you take that to heart. Truly, truly take breaks. Even if you're on Instagram, some of us on Instagram for business, we may be scrolling, we may be communicating, we may be following up with clients, we may be talking to clients on Instagram. And then after a while, you're like, man, I've been here for like 90 minutes, 80 minutes, right? An hour, 2 hours. And if you're doing that multiple times a day, are you really maximizing your time? And you could be doing better things, or you could be doing it more efficiently. So truly, right, devote time. This time in the day is set for social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever else is present, right? So keep those things in mind and dedicate time to them, and you literally have to stop. And if there's a bonus here, the bonus is, right, make sure you take time to shut off everything and recharge. Right? What is that sleep time? Some people work nights, some people work mornings, some people work all day, right? But you got to find that time. Where is your sleep time? Right? When do you come to the day or the night where it's off, right? TV's off, cell phone's off, mobile's off, right? Do not disturb. And now you truly get your mind fully recharged by getting to bed in a respectable time so you can be fresh to be your best on the following day. So, how to overcome your workaholicism? How to overcome being a workaholic, right? That's what it is. So take these things to heart. I know that these things will help you because they've helped me, and they've helped many of my clients in the way that I've served them to taking their game to a higher level. If you'd like to know more about what we do, of course, you can click on the links below, but also visit us at styleyour.life. And yours truly, Michael Ferrera. And always remember, style your life. And remember, you can live your life, and you can have every single thing in life that you desire as long as you truly believe it. We'll see you soon. Peace.